Welcome to the video. The gang is all here. Lights would be good. I've got some grab bags I'm ready to clear on out. This one is, this is not correct on there. Almost 2 pounds of vintage, mostly name brand, and they are very tangled. Some of them may be single earrings. This is not a name brand, I don't think. But how much was it? Almost 2 pounds. About 2 pounds. I don't think anything's broken, but I keep thinking I'm going to list on Etsy. Like this KJL, in case you don't know, is Kenneth J. Lane. It's a charm, enamel, high heel shoe, vintage charm. Anyway, well, this is high school. There's some stuff thrown in there that shouldn't really be in there, because I probably thought this was the bag, a different bag. But most things have a name. And it's almost 2 pounds for, let me think about, excuse me, $68. Now, this is vintage that is not name brand. I hope it doesn't fall out because I want to get both of them on here. Well, okay, this one's about 6 pounds. And this one, so over 10 pounds. I don't think we need this anymore. And they'll be $68 as well. Over 10 pounds of vintage. I'm looking at that. That might be a jade brooch, but I guess I'm going to leave it since it's in there now. But I don't know if it's cold or not. So I don't know. We just, you know, we threw these in here when they didn't, for some reason, they were overlooked as we did our videos. And that's when I, at the end of a video with stuff left, and this is, a lot of it is pearl type with some vintage thrown in. So that's going to go in the $15 shipped one, $15.55. That's those. Well, I've had 2 people in the last 6 weeks tell me that God's going to get me, basically. Because they just didn't like what I said to them, which all I just said is you're going to be happier somewhere else. You know, here's the deal. I just have to say, if you're not an adult, I can't beg and plead for give me an address. And this lady, anyway, without being rude, she just basically said, "Are you a Christian?" I even forget what she said. It was so bad. I'm like, I didn't do anything to you for you to abuse me, but obviously my gut instinct was right. So move on if you're that mean and nasty. This is some of the, hi Minka. Some of the leftover stones. Some of these are the earrings. Might be mismatched. This is kind of a grab bag for repair of stones. $12. I always say we'll have another one, so here it is. It's a snack size. Not super big, but it is full. So $12. And I don't know, these have been sitting out here. A little clamper rhinestone, $3. This one is a clamper magnet with these on there. You can probably change them. Yeah, that unscrews, so you can change those out or add. None of them are marked. $3. This one's nice. It has the faux opal, or I don't know what this is. Somebody at one time tried to act like that was opal. I don't think it is. $3. The colors are beautiful. Dark blue, black, kind of a yellowish green, and then the faux opal. And then this one is sterling clasp. Some kind of flat smashed pearls. Here it is. With peridot and amethyst, $18, 1/8. So that's some of that. Went to the cardiologist today again. Had an appointment, and he talked to me, and we're going to have to try some other things because it's post-COVID stuff, cardiac stuff. It's not getting better. And I mean, the pain is better. My angina is better. And from what he's given me to open up the little vessels, but my stamina, I've been working 3 days a week. It's 5 hours when I go. It takes me the next day. I come home and go to bed for a couple hours, and I get up a little bit. It takes me the next day to be ready to go back. So tomorrow I go back from 11 till 4. And then I have the weekend to recover. But he already started me on, I'll just say, he started me on 5 milligrams of steroids for 30 days. And I don't need to hear how bad steroids are. I already know. But when you have small vessels that are spasming and you're not getting blood to your heart, that's pretty bad. So save your negative comments if you have any. Most of y'all are very supportive and positive, but I've just been surprised lately. And when you don't feel good, you're not in the mood for that. I had another woman who has been with me for 1.5 years and hasn't sent money for her little jewelry I sent. Hadn't paid for it, and won't write back anymore after she said, "You will get your money." Like I'm asking for her for something that I shouldn't be asking her for. So I'm like, right now it's my jewelry that you've got in your house. So I know I'm on a rant and a rave here a little bit, but some people that you come across, you just wonder, what their issue is. It's called, well, I won't call it anything. But anyway, so double the nitrate. Take it every 12 hours to open the blood vessels. Take the steroids. Take a blood thinner twice a day now for small clots if I have any. I've already been CT scanned in the lungs for bigger clots, but I don't have those. But he said his post-COVID people that don't feel good, I don't know that they have what I have, but he's just calling it the post-COVID thing. After 2 weeks on the blood thinner, we're going to do a 3-week, that's it, 3-week thing. He said if your nose starts bleeding, stop it. But he said after 2 weeks, a lot of them feel better. And he said what it does is it just gets rid of the little tiny clots. So, this is an ugly thing. Ugly, ugly. I heard a story in the waiting room today. A lady was saying that both of her neighbors, one of them passed away and the other one can't work anymore. And what he did was he started a taxi service in town. A few years ago, it was the only taxi service, and I wrote it down because you just never know. And I would see his vehicles. They were nice vehicles, and they would be at Walmart helping people, get their groceries or whatever. And a lot of people used his taxi service. Well, apparently he got COVID from, I don't know where, I assume someone that was riding in the taxi. And one of the people working for him, her car, her van or whatever it was, wasn't working, broke down that day. She was supposed to be taken over or something, so she borrowed his van, she got COVID and she died from it. And she was in her 60s and he was in his 70s, and he's still alive, but he can't drive his little taxi. He doesn't have the stamina to do it. So interesting is the cardiologist intern. He has little interns, new ones every time I go. Young lady taking notes, and I learn more because he's telling her, well, blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and I learn more about my condition. But I'm diverging. They really don't know about the post-COVID issues. I mean, mine are diagnosable. They see what is going on, and they just don't know if it's going to get better or not. And he's just trying to get me to be able to obviously work again. But she was just saying that, when he was explaining to her, well, Miss So-and-so is so-and-so age and such, and when we did the catheterization, the spasms were even happening with the saline solution, and then we put the dye, and like fireworks and blah, blah, blah. So later she said, my mother has this post-COVID thing, or syndrome. But I'm not calling mine a syndrome because we've diagnosed what it is. But I said, I was just leaving, and I said, well, good luck to your mom. And if she's not getting anywhere, have her come see this, Dr. So-and-so. I said, when I come in, he's, how are you doing? And then he just always adjusts something and gives me hope that we're going to get, I'll either slowly get over this. Meanwhile, let's get me feeling better. Get me some stamina. He had me come out in the hall and walk down the hall and back. And then he measured the pulse and all that stuff and the oxygen level. And he was just like, okay, yeah, I mean, just that little walk, your demand on your cardiovascular system is really high, too high for that little walk. Because I was telling him, I'm not even drinking any water or coffee at work because I cannot walk down as far as the bathroom is. It's too far. And get back. I mean, I could if I had to, but when I came back, I'd have to sit down. And then I'd have to kind of pull the mask out a little bit to get some air and, feel a little bit like, okay, now I can talk. So that's kind of the update. Couldn't remember his name. Oliver's doing well. We've been getting him in the car, getting him on a little bitty walk between the two of us, a little walk every day, getting him out so he can sniff around. And he got his rabies shot and his last puppy shot Monday afternoon. And he ended up having there was a lot more people in the waiting room, dogs barking, and he was in a little crate, because he's still little. Although he's almost 15 pounds now. We got him, he was under 3 pounds. He's 4 months old. That was 3 months ago. He's now 15. And he just seemed very, very agitated and anxious, and we told her about it. And when we walk him, he's barking. He barks at people or anything. We haven't come across a dog yet, but that's going to be a bark fest. So she was telling us about a trainer, but I just can't be doing all that right now with COVID, If he barks, he's a dog, and we're okay with that. As long as we have him pulled close and he's not biting people, which he hasn't, but he's barking. He gets nervous and he starts barking. What else did I want to say about that? I forgot. 4 months old, doing good, getting big. Oh, she's like, well, he's going to stay a little guy, but she said, but he can still grow a little bit more in the next 4 to 8 months. And I'm like, hopefully, I'd like him to be a little bit smaller than Olivia, but she was a medium size, and he may get to a medium, but he's still small, but he's not tiny. He's bigger than a small breed. He's bigger than a Yorkie and all those, but for a while he was small like a Chihuahua, but he's a little bit bigger now than I'm not talking about the tiny Chihuahuas, just the regular size. Kind of almost like a dachshund, but I'll do a video at some point. Anyway, God bless and thank y'all.